Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. So here we have another question, uh, and the direction for question is what? Answer the following questions based on the information given below. So as we understood that the text that discusses about what? That discusses uh, human brains and how it is compared with a computer and a machine, you can say that. At the same time, the main idea of the text is to indicate about human brains that have billions of neurons or billions or trillions of neurons and their interconnection, not just the varying strength which they are connected, not just the states of more than 1000 proteins that exist at each connection point, but how the moment-to-moment activity of the brain contributes to the integrity of the system. So we understood this complete passage. Um, so let's jump to the question. So the question is here given that what can be inferred? What can be inferred about the author's view on the Human Brain Project? So what can be inferred about the author's view on the Human Brain Project? Now, let's look at the um, questions and try to identify the so what does the question ask? The question asks here that what? To infer the author's opinion, right? Author's opinion. So author's opinion about what? About the Human Brain Project. Human Brain Project. So which was mentioned in the passage, right? The author has a particular view on this project and what we need to do or what the readers need to do. So readers need to determine which choice best reflect that view based on the information provided, isn't it? Let's look at the first option. So it was an ambitious but ultimately misguided endeavor. So this option suggested that or suggest that the project was ambitious, isn't it? The project was ambitious in its goal, but was fundamentally flawed, right? So ultimately misguided or fundamentally flawed or misguided. The author describes the human brain project as a nothing but what that called as a brain wreck, right? So what do we call it? We call it brain wreck, right? So it a brain wreck means called as a brain damage, isn't it? Okay. Mm, and Martin was asked to step down and indicates that it was based on unrealistic promises that this aligned well the author's perspective, right? Now, if you talk about that, we find out means this option, which is appropriate here because that is what we inferred about the author's view on the human brain project. It was an ambitious but ultimately misguided, or you can say brain wreck endeavor, and that's what Markham was asked to step down because it is after that it is stated we are organism, not computers, so and so, right? So on the basis of that, we can consider option one could be correct. Now let's look into that how other options are not. Uh, if we look at the second option said it failed due to lack of proper funding and resources. Now this option claims that the failure, isn't it? Failure. So failure was due to insufficient funding and resources. However, the passage does not mention anything about a lack of funding. In fact, it indicates the project was well funded by the EU, right? European Union, isn't it? So then if we look at the option three, so in that case, option two cannot be the answer. Three stated it was a revolutionary project that did not meet its potential. Now, this option implies that the word project could have been groundbreaking, but did not live to its potential. The author, however, describes the project as being flawed from the beginning due to faulty ideas, not simply failing to reach its potential. Therefore, we can say this option is also misleading, it cannot be the answer to it. Four, it was a successful project that had significantly advanced in neuroscience. It is completely incorrect, because the passage clarified or clearly stated that the project turned into a failure and it did not um, uh, advanced neuroscience as expected. So hence, option 2, 3, 4, right? They means they are incorrect because option 2 um, stated about failed due to lack of proper funding and neuro resource. So the passage does not blame a lack of funding or resource for the project failure. Three, which is called as misleading because it suggests there was potential that was not met, while the author believes the project was fundamentally flawed from the beginning onwards. So four, it was entirely wrong since the author describes the project as a failure. So we can find out it clarifies that the authors views the Human Brain Project as an ambitious effort, right? That went wrong because it was based on unrealistic ideas and promises. Unrealistic ideas and promise, right? So, promises. The project was described as a brain wreck, indicating that it was misguided from the start. So therefore, we consider the best answer option is one. It was an ambitious but ultimately misguided endeavor. Hope you understood this. The answer is option one. That's all. Thank